Well, for more on sports during the pandemic, I'm joined now by sports analyst Mike Bako. He's also a sports editor at dailynational.com. And Mike, thanks so much for joining us. We just talked about the Chinese Sport League there, the season underway in 2 competition areas. More than 1,800 people have been tested, all negative results. Do you think the proper protocols are being put in place?
Well, they do have a lot of these protocols. Like you mentioned, before they were able to even come back from this 5-month hiatus, everyone needed to get tested, not only the players, but the support staff and the coaches. And obviously now they're able to get back on the field. So how long that will be able to continue remains to be seen. They are in these 2 areas and they are going to be tested every couple of days. So it very much follows some of the things that we're seeing here in the States with what Major League Baseball is doing, the National Hockey League trying to start up at the beginning of August, and the NBA, which is just a few days away from starting up again.
So the Tokyo Olympics were supposed to start this week. That's obviously not happening. They've been delayed. But what impact has that had on athletes and the world of sport?
Well, I mean, when you just look at those Olympic athletes, their window of being the most competitive that they can be is a very small window when you're an Olympic athlete. If you think about a gymnast or you think about a swimmer, that age range, say, of 18 to 22, that is your peak time. That is when these Olympians have this time to shine. And all of this training has really led up to these games. So one more year of not being or having to train, I should say, that's going to take its toll, not only from the standpoint of other athletes that could potentially take their places, but do they have the funding to continue to train? A lot of these Olympic federations are going to be funding them in terms of training, but how long can this possibly go on for?
So how are they staying at peak performance during this time, and in general, how are athletes adapting?
Well, they're really not being able to stay at peak performance. So much of their training was in this 4-year period to lead up to this time, so they would have been at their peak right now. So what they have to calibrate and think about is, will there actually be a Tokyo Games in 2021? How can I train? Do I need to requalify? Are all of the results going to hold? Are the same people that qualified from the Olympic team still going to be going if the games even take place in 2021? So right now is when they're at their peak. They're going to now need to rev back up and just see where we're at. And it might not even be a decision that the Olympic Committee can make until, say, 2 to 3 months beforehand. There's a lot of planning that goes into these things from a logistics standpoint, but also from a training standpoint. Those 2 things meeting as one is what these Olympic athletes want. Will they actually get that answer? I don't know.
And what about the pro sports leagues here in the U.S.? What sort of seasons are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at Major League Baseball just starting up. They're taking a slightly different tack than the National Hockey League and National Basketball Association. The NBA and hockey are having basically having everyone be in one location. The NBA in Florida and 2 Canadian sites for the NHL. Major League Baseball playing without fans, NBA playing without fans, NHL playing without fans. But the big difference with the Major League Baseball is that they are actually traveling city to city to play these games. So that's where you really have to think about, will these infection rates go up? Will there be an increased likelihood of a stoppage of the Major League Baseball season, testing every other day versus the bubble mentality that the Chinese Super League is, the Football League is doing, the NHL is doing, and the NBA. They've had great success. NBA, with their most recent round of tests just the other day, 0 positives coming out of that.
Mike Bako from dailynational.com, thanks so much for joining us.